Hey everyone, my name is Walter Bailey, and today I'm going to be talking about the psychology of social media. And pretty much what that consists of is how social media affects the way we feel, think, and behave. And I decided to do this because, back in the day, especially during COVID, I would go on social media and I would be addicted and I would know that it's wrong, but in my mind, I would think that it was okay, and it led me down a wrong path to where I couldn't go without my phone. So that's why I decided to research things about the psychology of social media and just tell my story of how I looked it up and how it applied to my life. So pretty much, I'll let you start saying by apps like Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook are a normal part of everyday life now. Most people check their phones within minutes of waking up. And on average, people spend over 2 hours a day on social media. So, that adds up to years of our lives. I've spent either scrolling, looking up photos, videos, just anything like that. So pretty much, social media isn't just something we use. It's something that affects our brain in many specific ways. And a big reason social media is hard to put down is to do with the dopamine in your brain. So dopamine is a chemical in your brain that's connected to pleasure and reward. When something good happens, like getting a compliment or achieving a goal, your brain releases this dopamine. And the same thing happens when someone likes your photo, comments on your post, or sends you a message. You get a small rush of satisfaction. It feels good, so naturally you want to just check it again. You just want to see if something's going on, so you just gotta try to not do those things. What makes it even more powerful is that you never know when the reward is coming. Sometimes you post something and it gets a lot of attention, and sometimes it doesn't. And that keeps you coming back because you want to see who's got it, who looked at your photo, who liked it, or if you got a lot of views, stuff like that. So your brain is just telling you to keep looking at whatever you posted or things of that nature. So you gotta just try to limit those things and not worry about the outside world as much. And another big psychological effect is comparison. A psychologist named Leon Fessner came up with something called social comparison theory. It basically says that people judge themselves by comparing themselves to others. And social media makes that very constant because, when you scroll, you see people's best moments, like their achievements, selfies, or just vacations. And, you don't get to experience those things, or you don't have the satisfaction to live out someone else's life, which could upset you, but really you're not really seeing people's whole life. It's just what they're posting. So really you might think you have a worse life than someone else, but really it's just their highlights of their life and stuff they want to share with others. So it's really not that bad. And this ties along with something called FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. So if someone posts something that you see, let's say they go to Busch Gardens or something, and you're like, dang, I wish I was there. That's a part of FOMO. It's that someone is doing something that you wish you could be doing, and you just can't. And you see it, and you think, oh, wow, do they always just do something fun? But that's not the case all the time. And another important factor is validation. Social media turns approval into numbers, like likes, follows, shares, and views. Over time, it's easy to connect those numbers to your self-worth. If a post gets a lot of likes, you feel confident. But if it doesn't, you might delete it or feel embarrassed. So that's the part of social media where it's affecting you because you want to perform and you want to make sure you get it out to a lot of people. But if you don't, you feel insecure and things of that nature. And I would also like to mention how it affects sleep and focus, because studies show that using social media late at night is linked to poor sleep. The blue light from screens keep your brain awake, and scrolling through emotional or dramatic content makes it harder to relax yourself. So poor sleep then affects mood, memory, and concentration the next day because you're not getting the sleep you need overnight. Another big part is attention span. That's another concern, because you could be sitting on TikTok for, let's say, hours and you don't even realize. So it's very important to limit yourself. And a big suggestion I would give you is turn off your notifications, because every time you hear your phone buzz, you're going to want to check it. So what I do is I'll silence all my notifications, and like every now and then, if I have free time, I'll look at my phone to see if I have, someone text me or I got notifications. But just try to limit yourself to looking on your phone, because it really can affect you in terrible ways. So in the end, social media is one of the most powerful psychological tools ever created. It influences how we see ourselves and how we see others. But don't let this affect you. Don't let it control your whole life, because there's many more things in this life than just going on social media and seeing other people's lives. Like, just do your own thing, and if you need any help, just contact health professionals, things of that nature. And I promise it's going to be all right. And just limit your social media use. Thank you so much, and I hope you learn a little bit of information from this video.